Bev Buds.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're listening and wherever you're listening from. This is the Bev Buds. As always, I'm your host, Trent Reardon.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kyle Wright. Daniel who?
Oh.
Daniel.
Once again, we're left with this mystery of who Daniel is.
You nearly didn't make it today, D.
Nearly.
No, you nearly missed out on another top shelf Bev, because last time...
Yeah, that's right. Last time you weren't here, we
had
cracked open
that's when
the
you
proper
brought out the good
12.
stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's gone. Right.
So like, Dan's not coming, I better do top shelf again.
So again, I guess we have to apologise for going a week without another pod.
We do.
Which was last week.
Yeah.
Very busy. Very busy time in our lives.
Lockdowns, very busy time in our lives. I'm surprised we've managed to rustle the three of us together weekly for 4 weeks.
Considering our history of how difficult it is to even achieve that once,
Yeah.
let alone weekly.
It's hard to find 1 hour in between, 127 hours in a week.
But I did get asked a few times, where's the pod?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I'm glad we're making another one. So that person...
That should shut him up?
Yeah. Take this. Now, so Trent, you and I... Because Dan was working late, and you and I were all going to do a pod with just the two of us.
We were. Unfortunately, Dan came on time.
Now, you asked if I had Bevs.
Yep.
And I didn't specifically buy Bevs for the pod. I bought Bev yesterday.
Out of pure personal enjoyment.
Pure personal enjoyment. I thought it's Sunday. Why not crack open a bottle of whiskey and get drunk? So I'm going to make you guys one of my favourite drinks tonight.
Your favourite drink?
One of my new favourite drinks.
Right.
How'd you find this out?
So...
was it TikTok?
D, you've actually had it before. But
is it an old fashioned?
It is an old fashioned.
Wait, what?
It is.
Is it the good version or not?
Yes.
Not the one that you and I got, where it's like this guy just went, "Oh, here's 2 whiskeys blended together. Drink this."
You're talking about the time at Bay.
Yeah, we're like, I asked.
Well,
like,
you said give me anything or give me something strong.
No, I said to the bartender, "Give me something that you enjoy." And he went like, "Oh, here's two whiskeys mixed together." I'm like, "All right, I'll give it a try." This is horrible.
Because I remember you sculled yours.
No, I tried.
Didn't you finish it? And then we left. We went down to the beach. Remember we went for a walk and you vomited?
No.
This is a different one.
No, I didn't. No, it was just where like we went. I remember you and I tried to taste it and went like, "Nah, this is too much."
Well, it is an old fashioned.
So Kyle is making this live.
I'm making it for you live on the air. Now, let's see if I can multitask and tell a story while I do it. So I actually went to a bar on the weekend called Beneath Driver Lane in the city.
Right.
And they like pride themselves. They're not bartenders. They're mixologists.
Just like sandwich technicians at Subway.
You literally just stole what I was going to say.
So these mixologists, it was lovely. It was for Rose's birthday.
Yeah.
And these mixologists,
Happy birthday, Rose.
Basically, shout out to Rose.
Do you
Sing the birthday song while we're at it?
Alright, yeah. Congratulations. You one step closer to the grave. Anyway.
So these...
do you think those mixologists...
Sorry about that. I'll be that quiet up. These mixologists.
Do you think they go to family events or like, public events in general?
Yeah.
And like when they get asked the question, "Oh, what do you do for a job?" And I'm a mixologist.
Well, do
you think people say, "Oh, what's that?" What do you think they say then?
Yeah.
I'm just a bartender, really.
I think they get offended if they said that they were just a bartender, don't you? I think that's like a... I reckon it was just... I can tell you from experience, they told me they were a mixologist, and I also learnt someone's bloody life story about how they were the top 50 bartender in Asia or whatever.
Right.
How do you find that out?
That is... Okay, so they took...
I can tell Kyle didn't ask this either. This guy came out and said that.
They took... Not even kidding, they took 10 minutes to drink.
So... Wait,
because it was... I'm not going to pick on them because it was... I loved it.
I feel like it's more the experience,
It was the experience, and it was also... It's their art. Like, So I asked for this drink, which it took them over 10 minutes to make.
Yeah.
As you can see.
And you're making it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I forgot bitters. I need to go up and get bitters.
Alright. Well, Trent and I can keep the conversation going.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to this story. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, no!
Is that water? Did you spawn up? Oh, you never
2
leave.
seconds.
Is that going to be my lesson at the end of the podcast? Never put bloody water on the floor because you'll kick it over. AKA what Kyle always does. Anyway.
How was your day, Dan?
Yeah, it was not too bad.
Not too bad?
Well, Kyle's what? I was going to bring up something, even though, like, probably should bring up when Kyle's here. He's gone. Alright, this is something about, remember last week when you brought up that ship?
Yes,
What was
the
it?
Olympus.
Did you know that
Here we
people have
go.
this conspiracy theory with the Olympus where they think that's the Titanic?
Yes.
What did I just walk into the end of?
There's this thing I found out, Soph told me, where, because after listening to the podcast, she was telling me how, because she thought that's what you were going into to talk about, where they think that the person who owns the Titanic owned the boat, the Olympus, that Trent talked about last week.
Right.
And because it was quite large as well,
Yeah.
they believe that
They looked identical.
And they looked identical.
Yeah.
They switched names.
Oh, okay.
And because apparently...
Something to do with insurance, maybe?
Yeah, to do with insurance. Because even when the Titanic sunk, he made a lot of money off it,
Yeah.
apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, they think... Because he was supposed to be on the Titanic, the guy who built it.
That's right.
Oh, really?
And he pulled out a couple hours before the Titanic took off.
So people think, like...
They changed the names.
Right.
And he purposely got it crashed.
Okay. Interesting.
To make money.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, technically, the Titanic never sunk. The Olympus
The
sunk.
Olympus sunk. Okay, interesting. I don't know, how did the conversation go from...
So, I can't imagine, like, that movie called The Olympus would have been as good of a name. That's my story.
Unless it's about that. That would be cool. So I should probably say what's in the drink.
Right.
So I've got bourbon. You can do bourbon or rye, typical old fashioned. A little bit of history about the old fashioned. It's one of the first cocktails ever made. So a cocktail back in like...
So the old fashioned is the name of the cocktail.
Sorry, you go.
So yeah, sorry. So the old fashioned is the name of the cocktail.
Yes.
Right.
And it's one of the first cocktails ever invented.
But if it was one of the first ever invented, why is it called the old fashioned?
Well,
wouldn't it be like the new thing?
It's the new fashion.
The new fashion?
Well, it was made...
I know fashion.
It was made in like the early 1900s.
Right.
And it was, basically a cocktail had to have 3 things in it for it to be classed as a cocktail. So this is what it is. I think it's, by the sounds of it, sounds like stuff people have found on their shelf in the bar and you're like, yeah.
Before they could use Coca-Cola.
So all I've put in it, boys, is I've got bourbon, Wild Turkey Long Branch bourbon, which is pretty delicious. Got bitters, got some cherries, got a little bit of orange zest there, and some sugar syrup, and that's it really. So I've put it over ice.
Sugar syrup.
So try and not get the ice in there. Give you guys a little pour. Anyway, I had this at the bar. I have not made enough for Dan. Dan, you can just have a little taste because that's alright. Sorry, Dan. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dan.
There we go.
I'll give Dan a little taste. I didn't want to make it too strong because I knew you guys were both driving.
There's literally nothing in mine.
So I'm so sorry, Dan. Hang on, let me garnish it for you, Trent. So this would
Just
be...
put a little bit in for me, it's all good. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Hang on, Dan, let me give you a little...
And a little drink or a little...
And a little cherry on top for that one. This is why I'm not a mixologist.
Would you ever train to be a mixologist?
I don't know. It could be fun, don't you think?
Smells very zesty.
I feel like there... How many times has that guy told that story to
He's a
you?
mixologist.
About because he told you about the Japan stuff.
Oh, the like top 50 best bartender in Asia, that
like,
sort of thing.
how many times has he told that story?
Oh, well, anyway, they took 10 minutes. They put my glass upside down and smoked it. And it, like, smoked out this bar. And, like, every drink they did was, like, 10 steps. Like, they're, like, throwing stuff, shaking things.
Yeah,
it was a show. It was
Yeah.
a show. It took... You had to almost double park because you wanted to... By the time you finish your drink, you're like, I've got to wait 15 minminutes for another drink.
Did I ever tell you how I got my knuckles burned by a mixologist once?
No, you didn't. Wait, save it, D. We should probably start the podcast. Okay. All right, so cheers, boys. This is an old-fashioned Kyle style. And there you go. Trent doesn't like it.
Like, no.
Straight off the bat.
I went in with very high expectations of this.
sorry.
And I
For me, it just tastes like...
just tastes like whiskey.
Yeah, like, I don't really taste
You don't taste the
difference.
faff?
It just tastes like...
I don't taste
whiskey with more effort.
I don't taste what you've done in 10 minutes time.
No, it wasn't 10 minutes though. I'm not a mixologist, alright?
Carl, it literally says 10 minutes on it.
Never had to go get bitters.
Should I mention the story about me getting my hand?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It was... I can't remember what country I was in at the time, but like they were doing the whole like, oh, we can mix up these certain drinks or whatever.
This is when you were in Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, we'll make this thing... Because one of the people was like, oh, have this thing called a Harry Potter or whatever the hell it was.
Like a butterbeer?
Wizard of Oz. And like, they're making up the drinks and all this stuff and putting all this stuff on top of it. And like, I've got my hands next to it and it with these other people going like, oh, this is really cool.
So your hands are on like the...
on the bar going, oh yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
The guy didn't say anything. He just pulled out a freaking blowtorch.
Oh my God.
And just like, whatever's on top of the alcohol to make it go on fire.
Yeah.
He just wants to drink it while it's on fire.
It just went on fire.
But like, they didn't mention that part. They didn't say, oh, can you stand back for a second while we just do this? Just whoosh.
And that's how you put your hands.
And that's how I'm like, oh, I lost all my knuckle hair.
How's your week, Trent? My week has been okay.
Yeah.
My day today, however, has been quite jam-packed of activities.
Really? What have you done today? Besides a little filming thing we did before.
So, as you may or may not be aware, I do have my car up for sale on the internet.
Shout out to Trent's car.
Shout out to my car, which is sadly going to move on hopefully soon. Anyways, I've had that for sale, and I've had someone message me about it. So I replaced something in the suspension just recently, and so I needed a wheel alignment. So I rang up Tyre Power this morning and I said, can you get me in? They're just like, yep, sweet, no worries, bring it down. So look, for reference, Tyre Power is about 5 kilometres away from my house.
Right.
There was no one else home at the time. Lauren had already gone to work. And I don't have any relatives that live down my way. So I thought, you know what, I'll just walk back home. Like, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, get in the car, drive down to Tyre Power, get out, give them the keys. The second I walk out that door, it rains. So I walked in the pouring rain all the way home. Get into my street and I get a phone call. Oh, hey mate, your car's ready to be picked up.
Oh, God.
So I thought, stuff it, I'm going home. I'm getting changed into warm clothes and I ran back.
Hey, at least you got your exercise in for the day.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not too bad.
No one is still soaking wet. I don't know. Can I have that orange?
What?
The orange.
Sure. Do you want to cut? What do you mean the orange?
Can you cut me a piece off?
Sure. You want some orange?
Thanks, guy.
Here you go. Here's your orange slice. There we go. Feels like I'm still at work. Hey kids.
Welcome back to Fruit Buds.
Yes. The fruit of the week is orange. So this old fashioned got me thinking. Got me thinking about the olden days.
Okay.
And I was thinking about like safety because I was in Melbourne this weekend, and you know how there's like in all the old buildings. You're sure you had this in Europe? Everything's like smaller. You spilled that all over my desk, didn't you? No. You son of a bitch. Where's the towel? It's over there. Dan's just spilled his entire orange on my desk. His orange slice, I cut him. I don't even want to talk about old buildings in Melbourne anymore. I'm done.
No, I'm interested, Cole.
Well, I learned
a
few things. The first thing that I'll explain the first thing I thought about, then I'll go into the second thing that I want to talk about. But right. Melbourne used to be the worst city in the world for sewage in the 1890s.
The worst city in the world?
They did not have a sewage system until like well into the 1900s. And apparently people would just... Melbourne was covered in shit, literally. And people used to just have pits in their backyard where they would throw nappies, like bins, all their garbage and that sort of stuff. And it got so bad, like people would run out of space in their lot, so they started dumping it on the streets.
Oh.
And they had to start paying people to like clean up all the sewage because it was just so bad. Anyway, yeah, I learned that, which I thought was interesting.
Would you do that for a job?
be a cleaner.
Yeah.
Not
that sort of.
not 150 years ago. No, would you?
No, there'd be no PPE. There'd be nothing. Right?
Well, and I was also in that.
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Oh, and like
Just have to wash hands with straight alcohol.
one of the guys that did it. No, I shouldn't say does. He's long dead. He got caught throwing rubbish instead of taking it to a tip. The tips were really far outside of the city, so people, even the cleaners, used to just bin them in like bushes and stuff. Anyway, he got caught. He went to jail for a year because of it. So some guys like gone to jail for cleaning up other people's shit and then throwing it.
Oh my god.
But it got me thinking. Like all these old buildings, everything's really small. All the safety stuff from like 150 years ago, like the railings and like you have in Europe. I'm guessing all the houses and stuff were like smaller, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, because they can fit more people and stuff.
Yeah, like there's everything smaller, but safety was never a big deal in the past.
Yeah.
Do you think we'd be better off? Like now, if you go to a balcony or something, it's like up to here.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
At least. And there's like all the safety stuff.
For people who can't see, it can't mean chest level.
Up to here. Up to right up to here, or maybe even here. But do you think we'd be better off? Because that's really for like if one person messes up, right? It's to not get sued.
Yeah, but that's the reason for everything though. Like it just takes one person, so they have to like make all these rules.
Right, but it takes one person.
Yes.
Would you prefer to live in a world where that wasn't a thing?
Wait, but isn't that the same thing with like speeding and stuff? So you're saying like if everyone just
wasn't if like I've written it really bluntly. Do you think we'd be better off if stupid people could just die?
What?
Like the person that's going to fall over the railing.
So you think we'd live a more...
Like, would you think we'd be better off if you didn't have to have all this safety stuff?
You think we'd live a more enjoyable life?
Yeah.
I feel like no, because there'd just be like a lot of people crashing and falling off buildings by sound.
Well, you're going to crash it. Let's take away cars. Because people in the olden days, they lived with railing that tall.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if Frank walked over the railing and he fell off.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not like we need to patch this up and we need to make it like
we need to set right at a work safe.
Yeah, but would you be okay if like the world was still like that? You wouldn't.
No.
Do you believe in safety?
Yes.
What about you, Trent?
I think so because like I'm on Dan's side here because like even you think like just what he mentioned there with the work safe, like thinking about your work. Like if you don't have those safety precautions in place, like sure you don't mess up. But other people might, which could kill you.
It's literally the reason why, like, Victoria, like, used to be, like, one of the worst for, like, accidents on workplaces and stuff. And
did it?
Dude, we used to be horrible, like, years and years ago.
Then they had that
when we were kids or, like, when we were, like, kids?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Like, they were really bad. Like, people were, like, falling off and whatever else. And it was just kind of like, oh, yeah, whatever. Now, then they full-on changed everything because... people like you were thinking it was fine.
There you have it. I'm to blame. People like me.
So, in the news this week...
Changing skates.
Okay.
In the news this week, a female track runner in America got banned.
Right.
For 30 days for testing positive to an illicit substance. That substance being marijuana.
Right.
Now, it wasn't quite like performance enhancing.
Anything, it's like
that's right. De-enhancing, that's right. But she's banned for 30 days, so that means she could miss the Olympics.
Right. Okay.
And like it got me thinking about the Olympics, and I guess like, so the Olympics is the best a human body can achieve.
Possibly, yeah.
Like naturally.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's so many of those people that are not like...
No, well, like, I mean, technically, if we put aside all the rumours and all that sort of stuff...
The allegations. The speculations.
The allegations. It's the best that the human body can achieve naturally, right?
Yeah, at that specific thing.
Right.
Like, people train their whole life to throw that.
Yeah, or jump that high.
But they can't, not necessarily all do.
So, we're talking about, like, someone tries all their life to throw that specific ball for all that time to get given a bronze medal.
Yeah.
Or to not get a medal at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess that got me thinking, like, so that's the best you can achieve naturally. But would you watch, like, a tainted Olympics?
Like a steroid Olympics?
Like, yeah, like, to see what the human body can really achieve.
I think it would get more views.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ethical.
No,
like, how high can a human actually jump?
I think people would love it.
Well, like, you mean, like, they don't ask questions, they're just like, You want to do this? Sure. We're not testing.
No tests.
Yeah,
no
tests.
drug tests.
No
or
drug
anything.
tests.
Just do this and see
Like people
someone.
go
Yeah.
God mode, basically.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be down for that. Would
Do
you?
you think many people will die?
Yes.
Much later on in life, yeah.
Did you? You don't remember? I want to say the right name tonight. Lance Armstrong, the cyclist.
Yes.
Not Neil Armstrong, the astronaut. Lance Armstrong, when he did that whole Tour de France drug doping thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they disqualified him and they narrowed it back to who would win the race if you didn't have any doping allegations on you, and it was the 23rd guy. Between 23 and 1, all those people had done doping either in the past or got caught for it after.
Yeah. There's a whole documentary about it all.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Imagine coming 23rd. Back then, you think, I'll just go next year or whatever.
He's like a normal guy.
What if you've done it, and then whenever 10 years later, you're just going out for the paper or something like that, and they come and go, congratulations, you won the Tour de France in 2006.
Great. I wanted to give a shout out to Tyrone Alderson, who sent us a message last week.
He did.
He said, asking about roller skates.
I'll read the letter. He wrote us a very kind-worded letter. About roller skates to you, Dan. No. He says, so I'll read it. Howdy, boys. Lately on Reddit, I've been hearing a lot about UFO sightings in the US, and it got me thinking, what's the official Bev Buds opinion on UFOs? Cheers, Ty.
Cheers. Stars.
Well, firstly, howdy, Ty.
Howdy, Ty.
Great.
All the way from the EU.
Go on. Say where he is.
Switzerland. Sweden. Sweden. He's from Sweden.
No, I'm not saying howdy, Ty.
Wow, damn. Wow, what a wall. The wall's up. Did the UFO question pull a nerve?
No, just no, Ty did. Still mad about him making us miss that airport.
The what?
Making us miss that plane.
Go on, you gotta tell that now. You can't just say that.
I don't know if have we mentioned it?
Have we?
No.
Oh, should we mention the UFO thing first, or
No, we'll go back to this. What's the airport thing?
Him going. When we stay in Queensland for when we were younger.
Yeah.
We were saying when we wanted to leave to go to the airport, he's like, "Oh nah, you don't even leave at that time to go to the airport."
So I think our flight was at 1.
Yeah.
And we
earlier, I think.
Yeah, it was maybe 11 or something, but we left an hour before the airport.
He's like, "I'll leave just an hour before. It's fine."
at Ty's advice.
Because he's like, "Oh, it's fine. You'll make it." La la la. We get there. Guess what?
The gate closed. The check-in was closed for half an hour, but we got to the plane before it was boarding.
We were looking at our plane.
We were looking at it, and there was a line for people, and the lady was like, "You can't. We've already printed the passenger manifest, so you can't." And then we had to spend the day in Coolangatta. We went to a really crappy mall.
Have you ever missed a flight before?
I haven't. No.
It's generally one of the hardest things because you're I was pretty annoyed. Not at tired. Yeah, a little bit tired. No, but just annoyed because I'm like, the plane's right there. Just let us. Yeah. But you can't be grumpy because they can just be like,
kick out of the airport.
Yeah. No. You know what? You're going home in 3 weeks.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So what did you do? You had to rebook.
We went to the mall. We rebooked a flight for the afternoon. We went to this really dodgy mall that didn't look like they'd touched it since the 80s. It was real gross. There was a gross cinema in there. And we sat in it and watched Kingsman 2. And then we went and got lunch and went home.
So it sounded like you had a good day though.
And then I lost my hat.
Dan lost his hat. But we had to carry everything. We had luggage. And you bought a Switch, and I had remember we
had all this stuff on us that
going out clothes. It was a heavy.
God.
Yeah. We didn't have any checked in luggage, but we had a lot of carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the story of how Ty ruined my flight home.
So Ty's letter about aliens. So on Reddit there has been a lot of UFOs sightings in the US. What do you believe in aliens, Dan?
I believe there's aliens. I don't believe they're anywhere near us.
Okay.
I feel like I heard a report about the US government can't explain a lot of them.
Right. But they're still announcing them, sort of thing. Like, they're still saying there's UFOs, but you can't explain what they are.
I don't know.
Can I be honest with you boys?
Yep.
I saw a UFO not long ago. I've reserved from telling anyone. I took a photo of it and I showed Johnny. And Johnny was here, he saw it as well. But because now listen, I'm not going to talk about it a lot because I don't want to sound like a crazy person.
Was it a drone?
No, it wasn't a drone because it's not there for an hour.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't move. It was in the sky.
It sure wasn't
we were looking at it with our binoculars and it had 3 different coloured lights. And I took a photo of it and Johnny came and watched it with me and I said, I got you because I didn't want people to think I was crazy. He acknowledged it and we both went down to our rooms after we saw it. Like, let's go down. And it was there for like another half an hour and then it was gone.
So, just you, not a single other person.
Johnny.
No, not just like you two. No one else around like the whole peninsula is just like, hey, look, a UFO.
Well, do people care enough? Because it didn't like affect my night. I just was like, it's cool. I took a photo, went inside. Is that like their thing? Would that take over your night?
Yes.
Would it?
Yeah.
What's it going to do though? It's just going to go.
You can post about it.
I'm not going to post about it because I don't want to look crazy. Like now I feel crazy.
Sorry.
Look, do you want to see a picture of it? Where's my phone?
Do you think, here's a question. Do you think we've actually already been contacted by aliens? But like years ago when humans didn't even exist?
You never know.
And then they came here, saw what we had to offer, and left.
There's a signal that came out in the 1980s where it's a signal that came from outer space.
I thought you were saying there's a single as in a song and I'm like, by the Sneaky Sound System.
Sorry, you were.
Yeah, in the 80s I think it was where this tower that gets signals from whatever, it got a random signal from space, and because when radio waves send that far from space, it starts breaking apart. Right. And they have no clue what that signal is. Yeah. It's the closest I know of where it sounds like another species, or whatever the heck it is sending out something to message back going, help me, that's gone boom, just into this gibberish where it doesn't make any more sense because it's travelled for so long.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only one I know of.
Pretty frightening, really.
So here's my UFO picture. So there it is. You zoom in on it. And that's what it was. That's all I've got. Hey, listen.
So I take it the phone camera doesn't do it justice.
Well, listen. Johnny saw it as well. We both went, I don't know what that is, and went inside. But there's my UFO story. I believe in UFOs.
So you are convinced that was a UFO?
You can
Well, I'll post that. Anonymous? Can I post it anonymous? I believe in UFOs. I think they're real.
Right.
What do you think the weirdest thing an alien would find here would be?
The weirdest thing?
Yeah, like an alien comes here.
Well, everything.
Zoos?
Zoos.
No, zoos.
Zoos.
Or
yeah.
Oh, because I feel like they'd be like, we'll put Kyle in that.
Humans like putting animals in that. Let's put them in that. Or mannequins in shops. Why? You know?
Yeah, but you gotta know what they live like.
Yeah.
But they might have the same thing. They might have
what zoos?
E.T. might have mannequins for E.T.s wearing costumes.
They wouldn't have clothes, really.
Why not?
Because they're aliens. Obviously, they wouldn't have clothes. They'd be walking around with their big alien dick out. Yeah.
I'm an alien.
Can we talk about movies?
No.
Oh, okay, let's move on.
Alien movies?
Apparently we know a lot about movies, so
have
let's go.
You watched anything good lately?
Watched Dukes of Hazzard last night.
Classic.
I watched 8 Mile.
Jeez, we have such a cultural...
Have you seen 8 Mile before?
No,
okay. I was wondering why you're going to watch it twice. It seems like not a review you'd watch more than once.
No, I watched it. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That song you won an Oscar for.
Oh, yeah. Movie of the week that I liked was, I think I told you about the
Movie of the week.
The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt's in it. It's an Amazon movie.
The Tomorrow War or Tomorrow War?
The Tomorrow War.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Have you heard of it?
No.
It's interesting. The premise is, without spoilers, the premise is basically...
No, go on, spoil it, Kyle.
There's our time, present day.
Right.
Post-COVID, obviously, because there's no COVID in it. But present day, these people come from the future, and they interrupt the World Cup or whatever. And
how far from the future?
35 years, I think. 30-ish years. And they say that there is a threat to the planet. They're in a big war.
To the planet?
Yes. There's aliens that are destroying the world.
Oh my God.
And they basically recruit people from our time and send them to the future.
Really?
Yeah.
Why can't they use their own people?
They're all dead. Well, there's like 50,000 people left, I think.
But isn't that like...
Yeah, but
wouldn't that make sense? Because by sending those people to the future...
they would...
No, they've got a loophole. Do you want to know?
They would die, right?
No,
They pick specific people.
No, I want to know.
You should watch it. Anyway, it was quite an original premise.
Idea, yeah.
It was a good movie. It was really good. You just want to sit back, popcorn movie, watch it. Nothing groundbreaking.
Do they force these people to go?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's like it's like like the Vietnam War. There was like the
listing.
Yeah, there's that, but for a global level.
Yeah. Okay.
And and you go into it. I just went into it, didn't know anything about it. I've heard it's had some bad reviews online, so I might be in the minority. I enjoy Rose and I just enjoyed watching it.
Oh, you and I liked Greenland, and everyone hates that movie.
Yeah, great. Do you watch Greenland?
It's such like a
We've
got to get to this spot or else the world's gonna blow up. That's literally that's the story.
The other thing I wanted to shout out this week that I've been loving is I think a lot of people, including myself, skipped it. Was watching season 4 of Better Call Saul.
Right.
And I think a lot of people stopped watching Better Call Saul because it was very slow at the start and it was very hard to watch weekly.
Yeah.
But there's 5 seasons of it out. I think they're making their last season this year.
They're making it right now.
I would watch it. I
Yeah.
think it is a perfect thing to watch with Breaking Bad. So I watched all of Breaking Bad again,
Oh.
gone back and watched Better Call Saul. It holds up by itself,
Yeah.
and it's really good. And if you love Breaking Bad, even if you just enjoyed it, I'd flick Better Call Saul on. It doesn't have very much to do with Breaking Bad, but it carries into it a lot.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I almost recommend this is what I'm doing. I'm waiting till it's done.
Till it's done, yeah.
Because every time I finish, I'm like, God damn it! I just want to watch more.
I feel like
Well,
I guess a lot of people's mistake, and I think I had a little bit of it. I only watched about 5 episodes and then stopped because I think I'd caught up, and then I couldn't be bothered waiting. But I think a lot of people sort of expected it to be so
Full Breaking Bad.
intertwined with Breaking Bad,
And it's not.
see a lot of Walt, see a lot of Jesse,
And it's set. It's 6 years before, which is it's a bit of a. Breaking Bad's set in 2008, and it's set in 2002, which is like a real time capsule now, really. But yeah, no, it's good. It carries over really well.
Did they play Blink-182 on it?
No, they haven't yet. But it's got enough original stuff, and then it also touches on post Breaking Bad events. Like he's cutting between. That's what I think is quite good about it. But,
okay.
but yeah. Ending movie conversation and the clap.
Oh yeah. Can I add one thing to the movie thing?
Yeah.
Conjuring 3, isn't that great?
I hated The Conjuring 3.
Quiet Place 2 is good though.
Is it? I'll give it a watch this week.
I enjoyed it. It's not as good as the first one, but it's good.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good watch.
Yeah. No, I hated The Conjuring 3, if I'm being honest. It's just
Really?
It's not as quiet either.
Based on a true story, though, right?
Yeah, they all are.
Loosely.
This guy clearly just murdered his family.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, it's just the Conjuring 3. My problem with it was the first one I loved, second one I really enjoyed, but this
Yeah.
one they show too much of the monster, and it's
too much supernatural for me.
It's too magic-y. It's too much
Yeah,
magic
okay.
because the first two were really felt real, you know, and it was about these two real people. And this one has got like the witchcraft crap and like the magic. I just didn't. It was like a different series.
Yeah.
Like in the second one, there's a whole thing where there's this little girl who's possessed, but you never see it really. Like you never see her fully possessed in the way where there's a part where they want to have a conversation with the spirit that's possessed her.
Yeah.
So they start this videotape, and the camera lowers to only the videotape itself.
Yeah, and then
you don't see the child
That's right.
speaking,
Yeah.
so it makes it like
It just feels more scary. Like,
Yeah.
It's more scary.
You imagine it more. Whereas this, it's like, oh, here's the monster. It's scary. It's chasing this person.
Oh,
And
you might be scared for the first 5 seconds when you see it,
Yeah.
and you just get used to it.
it was real. It's run out of steam, that movie.
But it wasn't
like-
made by the same person.
No. And that's the other thing, because that James Wan, the guy who makes the original ones, he did Saw, and he does a few good movies. His lighting is on point, and his movies are usually pretty good. He starts franchises and then usually leaves. Because he did that with Fast and Furious as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But like I said, he's that kind of genius. He's made 3 franchises where he's like, oh, this is just gonna make me money. Like,
Well, he also made Star Trek as well.
What?
Star Trek 3, he directed
oh
it.
yeah, but you hate that stuff.
I hated it, but it did well. Like,
Did it?
I think
It's
so.
got like a
Well,
weird-
they were going to make 4 until what's his face quit.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from movies. Should we answer some?
Just before we answer some, speaking about like haunted stuff,
Yeah.
I guess we were talking about The Conjuring. I think my house is haunted. So I was sitting on the couch the other night, and
Okay.
Lauren walks in our hallway, past the switch for our lights in the kitchen, and she goes, "Is your hand bleeding?" And I looked down at both my hands. No, why? She goes, "Oh, there's blood on the switch." So that just startled me to begin with. Anyway, I said, "Oh, look, don't worry about it. Just wipe it off. I don't know where that came from." So anyway, she wipes it off. We continue on, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The next night, I was sitting there watching TV. Same thing. She walks past and goes, "Are you sure you're not bleeding from your hand?" And I'm like, I'm sure. And sure enough, there was blood on the light switch. So I reckon I can nail it down to 2 things. So one, I reckon it could be that the previous owner of the house
Is a ghost.
is a ghost.
And he's trying to turn on the lights.
The whole way we bought this house was this old man was living in it, and he had suffered a few strokes, and I think on his 3rd stroke it was like, okay, we need to get out of this house and sell it.
Right.
So that's when we came in and bought the house.
Okay.
And we've changed a few things around the house, and I don't know if he likes it or not.
Okay, well, there you go.
So that's potential number 8.
He's turning the lights on to have a really good hard look at what you've done.
Potential number B.
Yeah.
Or number 2.
Well, it depends.
Potential letter B.
Yeah.
Is not just a few days prior to that, we'd bought a baby swing off Marketplace.
Okay.
And I'd gone to pick it up. No dramas, paid, got in the car, took it home, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this theory that perhaps there's something a little darker going on here.
What?
Perhaps
With a baby
a
swing.
kid died in that swing.
And is
now I've
trying
bought
to-
that swing into my house.
You could, you never know.
Have you said this to Lauren?
Yes.
Freaked her out.
She just called me an idiot.
Well, you're in a bit of a pickle. There's not much you can do. I don't know.
Get a priest.
Yes.
Watch The Conjuring 3.
You don't like horror movies, I can't imagine.
Look,
You dabbled.
when I was younger, I didn't. I hated them.
Same.
And then, like, I remember watching, even back when Paranormal Activity 1 came out, that legitimately scared the shit out of me.
Same.
Like, the fact that you never saw anything.
Yeah.
And you, like, all those noises and the jump scares and stuff, like,
Oh,
laying
dude.
in bed after watching that, you
Yeah.
were just waiting for those, like, bassy sounds to kick in, the house start to shake.
Oh,
like.
terrifying.
But look, like, I love them now. Like, The Conjuring, to me, was, like, such a
so you have
fun
some-
movie.
I thought,
yeah, we watched it in high school. We talked about it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think The Conjuring 2 is, like, a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. But yeah, I haven't seen any of the newer stuff, like
No.
Quiet Place and stuff like that, though. I haven't even seen that.
Quiet Place is really good. Like,
You need like good speakers.
Yeah,
Which
big
I think
TV
which you've
and
got because it's
big
like
speakers.
it's about sound.
Yeah.
Like,
it's really about sound, that movie.
yeah.
And like,
You know it's called A Quiet Place.
Oh, but there's so much sound in it. Like it's very well done.
and like there's a good cringe bit in it, like in the way where you're like, no, don't do
Rose,
it.
I want to watch Quiet Place 2, right? And I've got it. And Rose wanted to. She's like, I'm like, have you seen 1? And she's like, no, but I'm not going to watch it because of that scene. That
Yeah, she knows about it.
It's yeah.
Okay.
Wait, it's like a 4-year-old movie. Can we talk about it? We can spoil it.
What a trend what's it?
Are you gonna watch it?
Sure.
So I can't.
Yeah, but like you've always Rose goes like about it. Like,
So there's a specific scene that people like feel really gross at because of something that happens to a character, and Rose knew it, and she didn't want to watch the first full one or the second one because of that one thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fine, I'll watch it by myself.
But isn't she, like, she got scared at Hot Fuzz, didn't she?
Yes. When was that? Was it when I think she got scared when the killer was chasing the person in the shop?
It's like in the middle of the day in a little British town.
They're all old people, aren't they?
Yes.
Timothy Dalton is amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
He needs to be a villain more often.
I agree.
We should move on.
My prices are slashing.
Help me, I'm a killer. No, I'm a slasher.
Killer
I'm a
of
slasher.
prices.
Killer of prices. Let's do the question candle, the oldest tradition. Did you notice we ditched the top 5 thing? Hasn't been for a few weeks. I think the last one
I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up because I was quite happy with it not recurring ever again.
It may come back.
Because it's always about Carl making us compliment each other.
Yeah.
What's your favourite thing?
Alrighty, question candle. First question comes from Ashley. Howdy, Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Howdy.
What is the most useless talent you have?
I can crack all my knuckles at once.
Yeah.
Like without touching anything. Like watch, I'm just gonna put my hands like this. You ready?
Oh yeah, okay. Don't do that again.
I don't really have many talents, if I'm being honest. I can't play the guitar, I can't sing, I can't play soccer. Pretty much all 3 things that would make me famous.
Well, didn't you were learning to play guitar and then you messed up your finger and then
I remember I was playing guitar with the guy we used to go to school with. And I did my guitar lessons, and I remember looking at it one day going, this is not worth it. I remember going, I'm done. Like, this is not worth it.
Oh. Well, I guess I don't know about useless talents, but I can play a few songs on the piano.
Okay.
But only about 5 seconds of each song.
Like the chorus bit? Like the catchy bit?
I find that's pretty useless because...
Yeah, you're never going to...
You're not really going to...
But you can whip it out at like a party, like a dinner party.
And play 5 seconds of a song.
Yeah.
Could you play Making My Way Downtown?
Actually, I do know how to play My Heart Will Go On in full. So.
Oh, that's good. That's an oldie, because we learned that in year 11. I think we both learned that one. What about you, Dan?
Can I have a piece of that orange?
Yes. What's your useless skill while I cut you your pair?
Annoying the hell out of you. Just doing that. I just wanted to show the audience what I can do.
Well, eat it, because it can go in the bin.
What?
I'm not going to eat that.
What's wrong with it? It's fine.
It's had its use. Look, it's actually. You know what's one a useless. It's not useless, but I use it very little.
Right.
I can start fires quite well. And
That sounds so like arsonist.
No, just like if you want to like a campfire or a Barbie fire or whatever, like I can work my way around the fire.
Oh my god.
Which I never use because if I'm having a barbecue at my parents' dad will always light it, and here we've always got Tom who loves lighting it. So I really never use it, but I feel like I could light a fire pretty good.
That reminds me of a story that I heard the other day about. Hang on, let me clear my throat for a second.
Yes, while Dan eats his orange slice.
I like my orange slice.
How was soccer today, pal? Did you have a good time?
Dan getting his heart.
Gatorade with it?
That's my skill, getting orange slices.
Yeah. So there was this man who he was hurt. This is a true story. Just recently, there was an apartment fire, or a house fire that destroyed the majority of the house.
Right.
And witnesses apparently heard a man say, "There's going to be a fire," and then about 5 seconds later, a fire happened. And it was the arsonist just telling everyone that he's going to start a fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Just announcing his work.
Crazy people.
Was he a fireman? No, 'cause there's a lot of arsonists are firemen.
Oh, I thought this was like a random...
No, like,
are they?
There's a lot of firemen known for like who get found out for doing arson attacks because they want to go to fires.
Okay.
Like
they live for the fire.
There's a guy in America.
Well, they're keeping themselves in the job, really.
Yeah.
It's a guy in America who's like famous for it, like where he used to set places on fire and then go put them out.
Oh my god. What? What's wrong with people? So that was Ashley's question. Wait, we didn't fully answer. What was the most useless talent you had? Trent, you said you can play 5 seconds of a song on piano.
Yeah.
I said I could start a fire. What have you got, Dan? What's your useless talent?
My useless talent. Like, can you think of anything for me where it's like, it's a talent what you can do?
I'm trying to think of things that bug me that you're good at. Like, you have more patience for like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, okay.
Like, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, here's one. I know for some reason I can play pool really well for no reason.
Yeah, there you go. Pool's a good one. You are good at pool.
Yeah, like remember, like for some reason, like I never play it, but I always beat you guys no matter.
Yeah, yeah. Pool's a good one.
Mm.
Well, there you go.
There you go, Ashley.
What a bag of tricks we're going to do together. We should do a show, the three of us. I'll start fires, you play the same 5 seconds of a song, and Dan plays pool. This is another one from Ashley. Wow. We should have made this segment the Ashley Donahue question candle. What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? Like a moment that gives you a second embarrassment just thinking about it.
I thought we've had this question before.
No, this is a brand new one from this week. We have talked similar. We talked about our most embarrassing sexual thing, because I talked about the thing with my high school girlfriend.
But I thought,
That's, for me, I'm trying to think of a different one.
It's hard to think of, it's always cringe ones to me always happen when you're in the car driving home and then you go, oh, that moment of
you're like, oh, why did I do that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Have you got one, Trent?
I don't know. I mean, the one thing that comes to my mind is back in my old life-saving days.
I'll let someone drown.
No, so we were doing I think it was the test to become a lifesaver.
Right.
And so we did all, you had to go through certain circuits, and we're all dreading the swim, right? Because it was like a 400-meter swim or something like that, and it was out in the bay, swim around, come back in, whatever.
Yeah.
But we were a fair number of circuits already in to the day.
Yeah.
So we're already pretty tired at that point. And then came our swim, and I was just dreading the swim. I hadn't actually swam properly in so many years.
Right.
I used to do swimming lessons growing up, but to this point, no. So we all jump in, and I realised to myself, I'm way out of my depth.
Right.
So to speak, quite literally out of my depth. I got about 50 metres into the swim, and I literally could not continue.
Yeah.
So I was walking, but doing
trying to get through.
Trying to get there.
Did people notice?
Well, I came out of we all came out of the water.
Yeah.
And I ran up to the sand, and everyone was like, "Oh, well done."
Yeah.
And then I get a tap on the shoulder, and it was one of the people, the observers, watching,
right? And
they're like, "Look, we're gonna have to make you do the swim again."
Did you do it again?
Well, I had to run into the toilet. I threw up because my body was just
yeah.
And then I did it. I actually did it.
Are you a lifesaver now?
Oh, I don't know about now.
To this day,
it's probably expired. Let's be honest.
But this is not the most embarrassing.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Before you continue, just anyone in the future, if you're drowning out there,
don't
make sure it's within standing depth.
Then you'll be fine.
Pool noodle reach.
Yes.
It's not the most embarrassing thing I've done, but it's up there. No, it's not the most embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. It makes me cringe every time.
Yeah.
I was at the gym. I don't know if I've told this on the podcast. I was at the gym, and I was with this person doing a circuit class. And I'm doing the class. I was really sweaty. Had my towel and everything. And
I
think you've said this one. Actually.
Maybe I used her towel to wipe my face and and then I got I did the under my shirt wipe my sweaty chest, and then I put it down and she goes, I think you used my towel. I just died. And then she was so like polite about it. I apologized. I'm so sorry because we had a similar color towel. Anyway, she for the rest of the
wasn't.
Yeah, no, I was like bright pink. She for the rest of the class didn't have a towel because she wasn't using her one.
She wouldn't use yours.
But like it was like one of those classes where you sweat a lot. You know, you need a sweat towel, and I just felt so bad the whole time, and I couldn't leave her because it happened 10 minutes into the class. Yeah. I had another 30 minutes with this person. I'm just like,
had you already used your towel?
Yes, I used mine and then I used hers.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably mine. What about you, Dan?
For me, it's more like I know this isn't, because I know, like, for me, I've always had moments where I'm like, oh, damn it, Dan, why'd you do that? Like,
yeah.
For me, it's like the only one off the top of my head I can think of where it's just like, I remember it didn't click into, like, how awkward it was until, like, a week later, where, it sounds so boring going, like, I went to the midnight thing to go get Fallout 4.
The midnight...
Like, you know...
Midnight release.
Oh,
midnight
yeah,
release,
at like EB Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And, you know, you're like... you're tired for no reason. I'm not even gonna play the game. Like for some reason, I just get it. At
you
midnight.
get home and go to sleep.
And like just program it in basically, and wake up and play in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And like I get my game, and like they give you like these little posters.
Yep.
To hand out, and you're like, oh yeah, thanks, all that stuff. I'm gonna keep moving now. And I'm like, oh yeah. I walk out and the woman's holding one of the posters. I grab it and keep walking, put it in the bag, and head off.
Yeah.
And then like our friend Johnny, he works at EB Games,
Mm-hmm.
and a week later I walk into EB Games and I'm chatting to him. And he goes like, oh yeah, and like the woman there was giving me like the stink eye too.
Okay.
The woman
The one with the poster lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Johnny. He's like, oh yeah, like she's been cranky all week. Yeah, someone snatched a poster out of her.
So you ruined her week.
Oh, because like she just thought I just walked over and give it to me. Like, 'cause I wasn't thinking. I was like, oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Just kept walking.
You just want to go home.
Like, I was like 12:30. So I'm just like,
You're an asshole.
like it wasn't like give it. Like I was
I
like,
cringe over that.
like, it was like give it. It was just more like, oh yeah, just like grab it out of there.
No.
But like, so I'm like, oh, so that's why that woman kept angry looking at me because she thought I stole a poster out of her hand. It wasn't meant for me. Oh, that's right. Because when I got in the car, I'm like, why have I got 2 posters?
So it wasn't even meant for you.
No.
Oh. Well, I've got nothing else to talk about, Trent.
Well, I've got one. It's a bit on the darker side though.
Okay.
It was just an interesting story that I'd never heard of, but it seemed so significant that I was just astounded that I hadn't heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of... It's Trent's story time again.
Yes.
So we had the Olympus last week.
We did.
This week, it's the 1978 mass murder-suicide in Jonestown.
Oh, you mean that one would like kill 1,000 people or something?
Yes!
With the Kool-Aid?
No.
Different
I
one.
thought, isn't that the Kool-Aid?
Oh, yes.
That's
like
the
the
Kool-Aid
punch, the cyanide punch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
See,
drink Kool-Aid.
I'd never heard of this.
No? Okay.
Oh, really?
So for our listeners, I guess we should explain.
Tell the tale.
So the tale is, there was a reverend named Jim Jones.
Good fella, I hear.
Not really.
Should wait to the end of the story to say that.
So 1978, Jim Jones, reverend at the time, more than 900 Americans who were members of a San Francisco-based religious group called the People's Temple, not to be confused with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's WWE finishing move, the People's Elbow.
No.
But the People's Temple, so they all died after drinking poison at the urging of their leader, Jim Jones.
Right.
So he started off his journey, I guess, as like a up-and-coming sort of revolutionary minister at the time, because he was all about like creating a group of multicultural, multinational, like just, you know, first of his time sort of thing.
Right, okay.
But he became paranoid because media started to like scrutinise what he was saying and his ethics, his ideas and such. So he moved to a jungle town in Venezuela along with like all his followers.
Okay. Well, they all moved there. Like
They
okay.
all moved there because they were under his belief as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, people were concerned about their welfare to the point where like they were going there to check on them. So there was a US congressman, what was his name? He was Leo Ryan. He went there with 4 other people to check on their welfare. Shot dead on arrival.
Really?
Like, they were ruthless.
Wow.
And then following these murders, Jim Jones commanded all of his followers to drink cyanide-laced punch, starting with children first.
Cyanide-based. Wow.
He then shot himself.
And that's where the
So didn't even drink the Kool-Aid?
No, he didn't even drink it. He
and
shot
that's where
himself.
the don't drink the Kool-Aid thing comes from, right?
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he just shot himself.
Yeah, he shot himself.
Well, like,
He didn't drink his punch.
so like he's just gone through all that. He's like, he's not gonna be like, oh, I'll drink it too. He's like,
One last hurrah, whatever, to Scully's drink or whatever. Well, there you go.
There you go.
That's a good note to end on. It's a happy...
don't drink Carl's drink.
Next week's Bev, Kool-Aid.
Oh, God.
This week's podcast is brought to you by Kool-Aid.
Oh, God.
I like story time with Trent.
Do you?
I do enjoy it.
Oh, that's nice.
So, thoughts on the beverage?
Oh, I mean, look, towards the end, it to me, it did get a bit better because I think the ice was starting to melt. And
Right.
it diluted
sort of
it a
mixes
little
through.
bit.
Yeah, you sit on
And
it.
then there was able to mix in the other flavours. But I don't know. I mean, I couldn't really taste.
I wouldn't drink this Kool-Aid.
You wouldn't drink this Kool-Aid? If that was Kool-Aid, you'd be like, nah, I don't want that.
I feel like the bitters wasn't very pronounced.
Yeah, okay.
Let-
So maybe it's a bit more?
Yeah, and that cherry did not too much.
Does this cherry do anything?
Yeah, cherry does not need my cherry now. Talk about popping your cherry, AD.
But look, I mean, whiskey,
Yes.
whiskey-wise though, this Long Branch from Wild Turkey, really good.
Quite nice, isn't it?
It is quite nice. On a scale of 1 to 13 thumbs up,
Being the Bev Buds.
official rating of Bev's. Look, I'm gonna have to give it maybe.
Don't hold back.
No,
Don't
I'm not
hold
gonna.
back.
I'm not gonna hold back.
Just because I whipped it up from scratch and just because I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it doesn't mean you
Look,
have to
I'll
hold
give
back.
it some credit because it was.
It's in there, I swear.
I'll give it some credit because
my blood in there.
it was nice whiskey. So it's probably gonna be an 8.5.
8.5? Okay,
Yeah.
not bad.
Sort of solid, but could lots of areas of improvement.
Right.
Is all I can say.
Dead.
7 out of 13.
7 out of 13.
Give that
thumbs up.
orange like a 9 out of 13.
Were they good orange slices? Well, you ate half the orange. You can take the other half home.
Oh,
What do you?
I'll cut it up for you so you can just drive and
What do you think?
kill juice all over you.
What do you think, Kyle?
Look,
From
it's
a
one of my
non-biased mixologist point of view.
Look, I will be the first to admit it's not as good as the mixologist one. I'll be the first one.
From one mixologist to another.
Yeah, but well, that's exactly right. From one mixologist to another, I would say, look, I'd probably give it this one. I'd probably give it a 10. I really enjoy them.
Really?
I was sinking them yesterday, if I'm being honest. So I enjoy them. So I'm very
Right.
biased, and I enjoy this whiskey. This
Yeah.
bourbon, sorry. So this is the Wild Turkey Long Branch Small Batch Aged in American Oak, which I picked up off the top shelf from Dan Murphy's.
You didn't drop it, did you?
I didn't. Was there anything else you want to say, D?
I'm trying to think. Oh, actually,
Here we
Tom
go.
never responded to my...
No, he did. Oh, so I talked
See,
to
we're only
Tom.
doing this because... What was it? Certain percentages left now. The only percentage left now is the ones you want
I talked to Tom. He doesn't have voicemail anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't even. And I said, did you answer? The
Yeah,
thing?
you wouldn't have even known.
I said, did you answer the thing that Dan left in your voicemail?
Voicemail anymore.
I couldn't remember what you asked him to ask him.
What do you mean?
What did you ask him?
Because we were
if
asking...
if Maverick was a pilot in the Navy.
Right. Okay.
I thought no, it wasn't that though, was it?
What was it then? I couldn't remember what
because
to ask him.
Kyle was like,
I was
you know,
laughing.
there's no such like. How can you be a pilot in the Navy?
Oh,
when
yeah,
the Navy's
sorry.
all about the
Yes,
water.
you
It
are
was
right.
that, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Should
try.
we try call Tom for now?
Go on, call him and
Yeah,
ask him.
try and call him again.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
Right, I'll try
Here
right
we
now.
go. Attempt number 2, cash cow.
Who doesn't have voicemail? What is he?
What is these two cool boys?
They don't have voicemail in Broome.
So this is our dear friend Tom Webb, who's a pilot, and he's going to clarify if they have
If he
Air Force
picks
in the
up.
Navy.
I don't feel like he's going to pick up again.
No, I don't think you will.
No. Maybe I should call Jay.
He's busy in lockdown right now, so for sure he's got a lot to do.
Are they still in lockdown?
In Brisbane, aren't they?
No, he's in,
You have reached.
Nah.
he's in WA.
No, he's not. He's in Brisbane.
Is he?
Yeah.
Right now.
Is Brisbane locked down?
I don't know.
Look, I'm sure this is thrilling listening experience for our listeners.
I think it's
No,
just,
hang on.
it's just New South Wales like that.
No, Perth is, and so is Northern
Perth's
Territory.
out of lockdown.
No, they're not, because I was talking to Rose's family on the weekend, and they're in lockdown.
They're out of lockdown now.
Now?
Yes.
I don't know now.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Oh, let's end this podcast.
No, let's keep going. I think we should go 2 hours.
Well, as always, look, if you have any grievances or anything you want to get off your chest, even a story, we'd just love to...
Tell us a tale.
Tell us a tale. We might read it out on air. We might not. But just let us know. Let us know anything. Something. Light up our inbox.
That's exactly right.
And, as always, take care and...
Make sure you put your what? Don't
Come
pressure.
on.
Don't look at me like that.
I wasn't looking at you. I wasn't even looking at you.
You were because you're trying to. Oh, go on, say something. All right.
Take care and...
Always put your indoor plants near sunlight.
Why?
Because they'll die otherwise, Kyle. You can make sure you water them too.